I'm live. Hello, hello everybody. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. The subway train I was on decided to just stop in the tunnel and sit there without moving, and then it would crawl along at walking pace and then stop again. And it did that several times. But it's good to see we got a good crowd here. Hello Yahya and Alan K. Kwan. And Fans Buses Gaming is here. There's an anonymous dude and Vivian Johnson. And Alex. Good day, good day. Hope you're all doing well. And I'm in North York. That's right, I'm not downtown. I am in North York. And I see Whitby Dude is here. And Brad Palmer, good day. I like to walk. Who else is here? Sorry if I missed anyone. I'm just trying to scroll through the people in the chat here. And yeah, I'm in North York Center. It's been a while since I've done a stream through here. I think it was a very cold, windy, wintry day last time I was up this way. For a live stream anyway. Hey, Megan's here, alright. And Toronto's doo-wop guy. Good day, good day. And Davey Bukaj. Haha, don't be too much of a rush. I get it, I get it. So I just got off the subway here at Finch Station. And that's looking north, but we're not going to be walking north. I'm going to turn around and we're going to start heading south. Hey, Rhonda Lloyd, how you doing? And Capelan. And it's a pretty nice sunny day. I think we might get close to like 20 degrees today. I'm just wearing a t-shirt. So here we are, North York Center. Geez, walking this way, it's suddenly quite windy. The sun is very bright. It's kind of hard to see the chat, so I apologize if I might miss the odd message here and there. Kind of have to squint to see what's going on here. Hey, James McDonald. And hello, Janine, as well. And Elise is here. And Big S, how you doing? So this is sort of like a secondary Koreatown for Toronto. We got the main Koreatown on Bloor Street, downtown or near downtown. Hey, boy from New York. So I was thinking I would go somewhere I've never streamed before, actually, after we finish our jaunt down Yonge Street here. I'm going to head westward to Bathurst along Shepard, and then I'm going to walk south down Bathurst Street. Hey, John O'Meara. I think this wind can take a hike. Where's the nice, sunny, still spring weather? Why does it have to be windy? Why? Hey, Steve Mikra. And here's Finch Avenue. Yes, I hope as the temperature continues to increase, the wind dies down. I just saw somebody said hello. Well, that was you, Steve. As I said, it's kind of hard to see the chats on here. It's very, very blindingly bright. Now you're watching the street on your iPad. The stream, I should say. It's kind of funny that way up here in North York Center, the sidewalks are really wide on Yonge Street, whereas in the heart of downtown, along Yonge Street, the sidewalks are really narrow and there's way more people. Hey, Reggie Gagnon, how's it going? So if you're new to the stream, this is not downtown Toronto. If you're unfamiliar with the city, downtown is a good 12-15 kilometers south of here, depending on when you consider the northern border of downtown, being Bloor Street perhaps. Hey DJ Ian, how's it going? Did you get a snowstorm in Winnipeg? I heard there was supposed to be something wintry happening there. Start walking, yeah. I've walked the distance before, all the way between here and downtown, and beyond. Whitby dude, yeah, I would say so. I came across a neat YouTube video a couple years ago about this stretch of Yonge Street in North York, and I think it was titled something like, "Why is this here?" And it really went into like, how did this high density strip of development come to be here way up in the suburbs, the post-war suburbs, I guess you could say. This is technically part of the city of Toronto, but North York at one time was its own city. but most of North York is made up of post-war suburban development. So how did this get here, this intense strip of tall buildings? See a super chat coming in. Brad Palmer, $6.99 to start off the ice cream sandwich fun. Brad Palmer, yes, that's right. The warm weather is coming. I have to stock my freezer up with ice cream sandwiches. That's what I do every year once the warm weather comes around. And after a day out and about in the heat, it's nice to come home and grab an ice cream sandwich out of the freezer and kick back and enjoy it. So thank you very kindly, Brad. How did we get here? How did we get here? Yeah, Mel Lassman, the former mayor of North York, who then went on to become the mayor of Toronto, the first mayor of Toronto after amalgamation. He was determined to turn North York into like a major city in its own right, almost like a competitor for downtown Toronto. But even though North York was its own city, it was still connected to Toronto through the metro government. So North York and Toronto shared transit, they shared police, they shared public housing, and lots of other services. They weren't completely separated from one another, and that goes for Scarborough and Etobicoke and York and East York as well. They were all under the umbrella of the two-tiered metro government. And all they did when they amalgamated was they got rid of one level of government and became a single-tier city. Because there's a lot of overlapping services and a lot of doubling of things that were unnecessary. Pure Goso. Am I going all the way to the lakeshore? No, I'm not going that far. Once I get to Shepard, I'm going to head west to Bathurst, and then I'm going to walk south along Bathurst. And Steve Mikra, $5. Cheer up, Ken. I bet the girls like watching the wind blowing through my hair. That might be so, Steve. That's one benefit of having this mop on my head, I suppose. Thank you very kindly, Steve, for the $5. But it also blows in my face, which also makes it hard to see the chats. This is also known as Willowdale. Before it was North York Center, this was old Willowdale. And lots of these old storefronts go back quite a ways. Back to the first half of the 20th century, anyway. And all the high-rise development started happening, I think, in the 70s with the Shepard Center. And then in the 80s, it really started taking off with some more office towers, and all the residential towers started springing up. Time for a summer buzz cut, maybe. I often do that. What'll happen, I'll just wake up one day and decide that my long hair is a hassle, and I'll just quite abruptly shave it off. Swarm of dinosaurs on the loose. As if I'm way up here when that's happening downtown. Yeah, I don't know about joining the army. I think I'm too old to join the army now. Even though I can do 100 push-ups quite easily, but they don't have to know that. Hey, Tom Tim Tung is here. Alan K. Kwan, I'm going to head down to Shepard, and then I'll head west to Bathurst, and then south on Bathurst. I've never live streamed down Bathurst before, not up here in North York anyway. Get army training. And I could be G.I. Ken. The gender swapping reboot of G.I. Jane. I remember that song from those commercials, man. That takes me back. So we're in Rush's old neighborhood here. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson grew up around here. Boy from New York, yep. Yeah, last time I live streamed through here, I went through the park over that away. That's named after Getty and Alex. I think it's called Lee Lifeson Art Park or something along those lines. Christopher, I did, didn't I? I think I'm so blinded by this sunlight I didn't even notice. Joe's Crayons, how you doing? I'm doing great. And trying to read your name. That 858M4T. I'm not sure if I'm even saying this remotely correctly, but yes, I heard about that. It was the same guy who shot both those guys. That's pretty mind-blowing and disturbing. And it's a good thing they caught him. I think he was planning to do it more. That would have been quite something, having a maniac like that running around the city. So hopefully he's locked up for the rest of his days. Here's Mel Lassman Square. This is the North York version, sort of Nathan Phillips Square. Of course, named after Mel Lassman himself, though. That was the North York City Hall building. Now it's still a City of Toronto building, though, for the North York area. Hey, Chris Smith. Yeah, that's right. Mel Lassman passed away not all that long ago. This is a weird building here, and it looks like it's going to be demolished for a new tower. That won't be a great loss. This is the ultimate suburban schlock here.
Here, wine.
They're having a good time. He's having a great day, Chris Smith. I think today is a bit nicer than yesterday, actually. And there's the art center for the area, Meridian Art Center. Hey, Picard is here. And Alan K. Kwan sends a super chat. $5 for the burrito or ice cream fun. Well, thank you very much, Alan. That's right, it's time to stock up my freezer with ice cream sandwiches. I'll be ready for that first 30-degree day. I wonder when that will come. Hey, Philadelphia walks. Yeah, it's pretty warm. I'm just wearing my t-shirt right now. And you can see people with shorts walking just up ahead here. That's not too unusual in Canada. Some people wear their shorts on days when you would think they'd need long johns. But this is verging on actual shorts weather, I would say, for regular people. Myself personally, I'm not much of a shorts wearer. I never wear them outside. I think this is one of the first office buildings built in the 80s up here in North York. It's kind of a cool looking building. I think it's held up quite well. Yeah, it doesn't matter how hot it is, I still wear my pants when I'm out walking around. It could be the most disgustingly humid, sweaty day, and I'm out here with my jeans on. I'm okay with it. I find I get hot mostly above the waist, not so much below the waist. I don't think I've tried bar burrito, you know. I wonder how they stack up against Burrito Boys. fair number of people walking around anyway. This is actually a pretty decent sort of secondary downtown for this part of the city. If you lived around here, you probably wouldn't need to go to the actual downtown much at all. They certainly have the Korean food aspect covered. And then further north of Finch becomes more of an Iranian neighborhood. You'll find some Persian restaurants. Hey, Terratopia's here. Korean barbecue. And what's with all these new Korean hot dog places popping up all over the place? Is this like the latest fad? I'm thinking it is. Because I never used to hear about Korean hot dogs just a couple years ago, and now it's like, hey, Korean hot dogs. Wow, the sun feels downright warm right now. It's like beating against my black shirt. Now these buildings here, I believe, this black office building and its neighbor here, these were the first high-rise buildings built in North York Center, I think in the 1970s. I think it's called the Shepard Center, and there's a mall attached to it. At one time they were the only tall buildings along this entire stretch of Yonge Street. It's kind of hard to believe, considering how many are here now. Coming up to Shepard, so pretty soon I'm going to start heading west to Bathurst. Well, it looks like Cactus Club is moving into this neighborhood now. They're down in the financial district downtown. Yeah, we got Five Guys, Blaze Pizza. This is just sort of like a little reproduction of all the places that are around Yonge and Dundas. I think this is the tallest building in North York Center, as of right now anyway. It's the Hallmark Center. And these are funky green towers. I kind of like them. They're different. So here's Shepard Avenue. There's a subway line running underneath Shepard heading eastward. That'll take you all the way to Fairview Mall. And of course the Young subway goes all the way downtown. But we're going to walk this way now on Shepard, and I'm not sure what we'll find. I think it'll be fairly uneventful, but it shouldn't take us too long to get to Bathurst, which is more interesting. We'll get a little look at some suburban Strode development here. I think Shepard Street or Avenue is a bit Strode-y heading westward here. There's an entrance to Young Shepard subway station. I suppose it's Shepard Young. So I'm going to start walking more quickly now so we can get to Bathurst Street a little bit faster. Very bland, yeah. I'm already getting that impression. Alright, Terratopia, glad you could pop by. And I hope to see you again. Looks like these old houses are going the way of the wrecking ball. The high density development is creeping a little bit eastward, or westward I should say, here from Yonge Street. Bathurst is also a little bit Strode-like up here in these parts, but it's a lot more interesting because at least it does have some street fronting retail along some sections, although it also has some strip mall type development facing the street. Kind of a mixture of the two different forms of development. It's sort of right in that transition zone between pre-war and post-war, once you start heading south on Bathurst. Some of the oldest strip malls in the city. And here you can see how North York Centre is just like a wall of towers erupting out of low-rise suburbia. And this is probably the inspiration for the Rush song Subdivisions. They grew up around here. Sprawling on the fringes of the city, geometric order, an insulated border. Hey, Mark MW, how you doing? Well, it's hard to do the Getty voice, right? Once he goes up into that high range, forget it. In some songs like Subdivisions, he stays in the lower range, so those ones are a bit easier. Here we are in the midst of suburbia. Although these aren't, you know, really like subdivision-y suburban houses or anything. These are at least somewhat urban. I think these were built in the 1940s, around there. Things didn't get really suburban-y until after the 1950s. Alan K. Kwan, yes. The best Toronto band for sure. Consulate General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Huh. Was not expecting that up here on Shepard Avenue. Alright, Bathurst. It's kind of hard to get a sense of distances when you're walking along streets like this. When you're downtown, things are a lot more condensed, and the distance between Yonge and Bathurst downtown doesn't seem like all that much, because you're walking along, you know, dense urban areas with busy sidewalks and lots of stores and restaurants and activity. Whereas that same distance up here can seem a lot further, because there's nothing to look at. Like, as someone who likes going for walks, obviously, if I lived up here, what would be my motivation for even wanting to take a walk? It would be nothing to look at, nothing to take note of, you know, like, oh, this new building is going up, you know, oh, this new restaurant, or look how busy it is, oh, it's so active and vibrant, isn't this nice? It's nothing of the sort here. But there is a sort of old school convenience store here. Here's one of these sort of plaza style retail strips. It looks like it should be fronting directly onto the sidewalk, but it's set back and has parking in front. If it was right up against the sidewalk, it would totally seem a lot more urban and walkable. Like, put the parking behind. I know it's a bit inconvenient to have to pull behind the building, but it would make the neighborhood look so much better. A subtype of strip mall, yeah, more or less. I find that those ones were some of the first ones built in the 1950s, before true strip malls started proliferating around the outer suburbs. Megan, your only motivation to walk anymore is the cute way your dog sneezes when you ask him if he wants to go for a walk. Well, as long as that's something to get you out walking around, whatever it takes, right? I think that apartment building way up in the distance there seems so far away. I think that might be where Bathurst Street is. Hey, Ali, I'm doing well. Wow, a 6-story building will be replacing this house. I think it was a house. Robert, that's Bathurst with the apartment buildings. All right, at least now I have a destination to sort of forge ahead towards. Bathurst is actually fairly interesting along its whole length through the city, even up in the more suburban parts. Boy from New York, no doubt, no doubt. Another half hour now. It won't take me nearly that long, Alan. I'm thinking about 12 minutes. I walk pretty quick. So just bear with me for another 12 minutes. Maybe we'll get some cool views up ahead, looking south towards downtown. And this is obviously the first time I've ever walked along this stretch of Shepard Avenue. Never have I ever had any reason to walk along here before. Whitby, dude, it totally seems longer. And the West Don River. Mark NW, yeah. I've noticed my subscriber growth has started to get back to normal after it was lagging for so long. I should hit 8K within the next maybe week or so, maybe a little more than a week. Or who knows, could be sooner. It's kind of scenic around here anyway. Look at those houses sort of perched on the edge of the river valley. And wow, way down there. Oop, wrong way. There we go. Doesn't look like much from up here. The river is barely a river. Yeah, I was wondering if that was the ski hill over there. That's pretty cool. And way down there you can see a couple of the buildings in the young Eglinton skyline. Can't see all the way downtown though. makeout area, like Inspiration Point. Anyone remember that from Happy Days? Now I'm going uphill. Hey, Kathleen Das. Oh, thanks for dropping by. That's what you have to do when you're marching somewhere. We're almost there. Bridge over the River Don, West Don. If you look on a map from Yonge and Shepard over to Bathurst and Shepard, it doesn't look very far at all. And then when you're out here on the street, it's a totally different story. Hey, Marie Palmer. No worries. We've been walking along a boring stretch of Shepard Avenue. But we did walk through North York Centre before that. And Reggie Gagnon 279. Get a nice cold beverage. Wow, I kind of wouldn't mind one right now, actually. Reggie, thank you very much. Christopher, that must have been a neat audio experience. And here's another one of those old style strip malls. You'll see a lot of these as we make our way down Bathurst. It's kind of cool though that they have a second floor with apartments, right? Modern strip malls don't have that. Like I said, if this was fronting directly onto the sidewalk, it wouldn't be so bad. And there's a nice mix of shops too. They all seem to be independent. Well, maybe not IDA pharmacy. Whew, I am hot. Worked up a nice sweat. But we finally made it to Bathurst. Felt like it took an hour, but I know it didn't. See where we were, all the towers at Yonge and Shepard. Yeah, I didn't time it either at Noble Cost. I think it was in that ballpark anyway. And Vivian Johnson, $13.99. Let's see if I can read this here. Hope you have been umbrella shopping. It's supposed to rain. Thank you very much, Vivian. I still have my old ratty umbrella with me right now, actually, because this morning there was potential rain showers. But yes, this ratty old umbrella will be phased out in the near future, thanks to you, Vivian. Bathurst says good deli food. Yes, it does. There's a large Orthodox Jewish community that lives all along Bathurst and the surrounding area through this part of North York. Yeah, the sun is sort of hiding. It's still, like, I still feel it, but it's not beating down on me presently. And also, once we get a bit closer to Highway 401, we'll be passing through Little Manila. There's a bit of a Filipino cluster of businesses and restaurants. Hey, David Kippert, how's it going? Is Johnny Strides in the chat? I just noticed someone saying his name here. If so, good day, Mr. Strides. Novel Cos, it's a kind of a abstract skyline logo designed by my nephew. My nephew Eli, he was, I think, 12. He's turning 13 this summer, but yeah, it was about a year ago he designed it. I also sell mugs with my merch. I think they say "I will continue" on them, or something to that effect. With the TheKenContinuum name. We're still in North York. Passing Earl Bales Park. Presently walking south on Bathurst Street. No, I don't have a Patreon. I don't know, I just haven't really felt the need to make one. I might do that sometime. This is the land of the long lights. Oh, your old girlfriend lived around here, huh? Alright, Kathleen, thanks for dropping by. Have a good rest of your day at work. There's no actual sidewalk, so I guess this is the sidewalk. I guess whatever works. Sure thing, Kathleen. Yeah, the sun is hiding behind clouds now. That's okay, I was starting to feel a bit too hot earlier anyway. Check out all the acorns. a million acorns. And now the sidewalk resumes here. At least they had this pathway connecting both sections of the sidewalk. Some like it hot, yeah. This someone doesn't like it hot. And I think I can see the 401 up ahead there. It crosses over the street. Nouvelle Cost, yeah, there was that thread on Skyscraper page where someone said, you know, there are like so many buildings under construction, but there's no actual confirmation of that, right? And just going around the city on Street View or 3D flyover, I just don't notice that much high-rise construction all over the city compared to Toronto. Like, I'm talking like actual tall buildings, right? Like at least 12 floors or higher, which is the definition of a high-rise according to Skyscraper page. But so I think Toronto does have more high-rises under construction, and it definitely has more skyscrapers under construction currently. If we're talking like 150 meter or 500 feet, I think Toronto definitely beats New York in that category right now. But nobody in New York seems motivated to go out and count construction sites. I don't know why. And Rhonda Lloyd, $10. Just because. Well, thank you very much, Rhonda. That's very, very kind. We're getting close to Little Manila. Of course, New York has some like super tall skyscrapers under construction and recently completed that blow away anything in Toronto. But if we're just talking regular 500 to 700 feet skyscrapers, you know, 150 to 250 meters, Toronto's got a lot going on right now. including a couple of super talls under construction. And one near super tall. Concord Sky is will be 299 meters, just 1 meter shy of super tall status. Alan K. Kwan, $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, Alan. That is a couple of ice cream sandwiches right there. Oh, missing cat. I hope they find her. Kiki. Yeah, these streets up in the boroughs, the former boroughs, they just seem to go on forever. Like if you tried walking along Finch Avenue or something, it would seem endless. Like with no end in sight. And I have walked along part of Finch when I did my Jane Finch video. I got off the subway at Finch West Station and walked west to Jane Street, and looking at the map, as I mentioned earlier, it didn't seem all that far, but walking it, completely different story. Bus is going all the way to Steeles. That's a long ride, considering it started probably at Bathurst Station, all the way down at Bloor Street. And I can see Highway 401 up ahead. We have the South African store. Torah Tots Preschool. Pick up diamonds there, maybe. seem like the motorcycle type. Well, maybe that thought has crossed my mind on more than one occasion. More so than the car type, I would say. Just not one of those loud, obnoxious motorcycles. Okay, so I think we're coming into what is considered Little Manila. It's just sort of a brief little stretch here of Philippine businesses. This is still predominantly a Jewish area, but Little Manila has established itself here on this one section of Bathurst and also along Wilson Avenue. Speaking of delis, there's Panzer's Original Delicatessen. That's one of the most famous delis in the city. A lot of famous people go there when they're in Toronto. I don't know if they have photos on the wall like some of these places have of celebrity visitors. I think there's a scene in the Rush documentary, Beyond the Lighted Stage, where Getty and Alex are inside there, inside Panzer's, and someone walks up to Getty and asks him for an autograph, and he's sitting with Alex, and they have no clue that Alex is also a member of Rush. They don't even ask Alex for his autograph, just only Getty. And then Alex just has this bemused look on his face, like, you know, am I invisible? Like, what's this building? I don't know. It just looks like a random office building. Maybe it's some sort of government office. I didn't really notice any signage. To a collection of your pun skills are unmatchable there, Novacos. Toe surgeon is in that building, Ricky R. Hello, Ida. Welcome to the stream. And here's the Filipino hair cutters. Yeah, sure thing, Ida. If you're wondering where we are, we're currently walking south on Bathurst Street in North York, one of the boroughs of Toronto. And this neighborhood is referred to as Little Manila. It's not like an official neighborhood in the city, but maybe one day it'll attain official status. There is a street food festival here though, called Taste of Manila, where they close down the streets here at Wilson and Bathurst. Very similar to Taste of the Danforth or Taste of Little Italy, and there are a number of other ones. Looking west down Wilson Avenue. Donalyn Pryor, $10. Always enjoy your tours, no matter where you are. Thanks, Ken, watching from Maple Ridge, BC. Well, thank you very much, Donna. That's very, very generous. And yes, I've been to Maple Ridge before. Maybe you heard me say that before if you've been in the chat. I think you have, right? Where I told you about my uncle who used to live in Maple Ridge. Unless that was another Maple Ridgian who was in the chat. And this is like a traffic zoo here. I go? Sometimes you think you can go, but you can't. You get these advanced green. Okay, now I can go. That was you? Okay, cool, cool. So as you can see, some businesses continue along Wilson Avenue in that direction. They're also part of Little Manila. And they actually front directly onto the street, the way proper storefronts should. I did do a walkthrough of Little Manila last year, so if you want to take a look at the neighborhood, you can probably find that video. Of course, that was during the middle of the pandemic, so things were pretty dead as I walked around. And now we're walking under Highway 401. This is one of the widest freeways in North America. I think here it's at least 12 lanes. In some places it goes up to 18 lanes, or even 20, I think, at one point. Sasha, good morning. Or is it afternoon now? There we go. We just walked under the busiest freeway in the world by some metrics. I think if you type busiest freeway in the world in Google, the 401 will definitely come up in the top of the list. I go? Let's go. Before this car comes to run me down. Now here's where Bathurst Street becomes a little more mixed in terms of commercial and residential. A lot more shops and restaurants start appearing. It doesn't look that busy from below. Looks can be deceiving. Tom, I am walking towards the lake right now, yes. I don't think I'm going to make it all that far, though. I'll probably have to wrap up the stream in about another half an hour or so. Make sure I have enough data left to do my stream on Saturday. That's going to be a special stream because I won't be in Toronto. Which lake? Lake Ontario. The smallest of the Great Lakes, but one of the deepest, though. Well, at least I know it's deeper than Lake Erie. I'm not sure if all the other Great Lakes are deeper than it. Noble Cost. You think you know where I'll be, don't you? Well, maybe you do. Ruling out North Bay, yep. I've been meaning to do a live stream along Bathurst for quite some time. But I didn't really want to do it during all the lockdowns and everything. I wanted to wait until things were relatively back to normal. Big lake they call Kitchigumi. So say never gives up her dead. When the gales of November turn blue. Is that your guess, Christopher? Well, you'll all find out in just a few days. Yeah, the wind does kind of kick up every now and again. That was my attempt to sound like Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah, he's still kicking, man. He's still playing shows. His voice isn't quite what it used to be, but he can still do it. Here's another one of these strip malls with the parking in front. Why? Why? There's the Bathurst bus. I'll be heading homeward bound on that bus after the stream. See, this one looks like it was almost a shopping mall or a plaza with parking in front, but unfortunately it's not quite enough room. So it's more like a regular street fronting retail stretch. I wonder if this was used as some makeshift mini parking before. Man, yeah, that's pretty cool to think about, right? Soul Bagel, Surreal Sweets. Noble cause, yeah, that would be a good idea. The Amanda Show. I'm sold. The Horror Store presents? Is that what that says? The Horror Store. Get cassettes here. One of the only places where you can still get cassettes. Hey, JD Fisher. Hey, it's Melrose Avenue. Do you think Billy and Michael and all the rest of the Melrose Place gang are just up the street here? How's that for a dated reference? And here's Griff's. This is another famous place here on Bathurst. People say Toronto bagels are not as good as Montreal or New York. That might be true, but Griff's will give them a run for their money. It's all in the water in New York City. Hats, seats, and accessories. Paula's Wig Boutique, that's right. I'm sure wig stores are in demand in an Orthodox neighborhood. I'm surprised there's not more of them. Same with hat stores. I can hear a dog being groomed. Sounds like they're shearing it like a sheep. Bathurst Street just goes on and on and on. I've never seen that video on Novocops. I think I know what I'm doing when I get home. Thank you, Christopher. "911 Milk." I wonder how long they've had that name. I wonder if they ever thought of changing it. I know it means 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., but that might not be the first thing that pops into people's minds when they see it. I know something else popped into my mind. Uh-oh, looks like, is that a seagull or a pigeon? Some sort of bird. Did not get out of the way of the car quick enough. It's like that Seinfeld episode where George runs over a pigeon and he goes, "We had a deal! You get out of the way, I keep driving." Hey, Susan here. It's the first time I've noticed. Hello, Susan. If you just arrived. I think it was a pigeon, Alex. Is this Lawrence Avenue I'm approaching? the deal with this building? It's all beat up, broken windows and everything. Maybe it's going to be demolished. Like broken windows all over the place. Change is proposed for this site to construct a new apartment building. Well, there we go. Yeah. Coming up to Lawrence Avenue. So things are gradually getting a little more urban now. Once you hit Lawrence Avenue, the development patterns tend to take on more of a pre-war nature than a post-war nature, heading south. Ah, Susan, you got all done up. New brows and new hair. So I think we're just about at the 2-hour mark here, so maybe I will wrap up the stream here at Bathurst and Lawrence. And then I have to hop on a bus down to Bathurst Station. Dave in Bangor, Maine. Yeah, it's very nice. It's t-shirt weather, at least for me. Some other people might find it too chilly for a t-shirt, but I am not one of those people. Hello. Hey. Vivian, you're very welcome. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed what feels like a longer walk than 2 hours, considering I walked along some long suburban stretches up here in North York. Or are we in Toronto now? I'm not sure where the border between North York and Toronto is here on this stretch of Bathurst. We might still be in North York. I'll have to check on the map later. the border isn't just a straight line, it kind of zigs and zags and goes up and down. Still in North York? Alright. So thank you everyone for accompanying me once again on a live stream around the city. Started way up at Finch Station, if you can believe that. Way up at Yonge and Finch. And now we're down here south of Bathurst and Lawrence. That seems like two far-flung parts of the city, and I just walked from one to the other. So thanks everyone for the comments and for keeping things friendly and cordial, and lack of trolls is always good. And thanks to the mod squad, doing a great job as usual. And thank you everyone for the super chats and super stickers. It's very kind and generous and it's very much appreciated. And I'll be seeing you all in a few days. Saturday. Watch out for my live stream on Saturday. I'll be not in Toronto. So until then, I will continue. And have a great day and have a great upcoming weekend. That's all, folks. Noble Costs, this very street. Well, thank you. I knew it was somewhere around here, right? That's pretty awesome. Yep, see you all on Saturday.